Hello everyone. So today we are going to conduct a telephonic mock interview for software testing position. Okay. So as you might be knowing that telephonic interviews are the first rounds basically before you go for an FNF face-to-face round to an organization. Okay. So it becomes very important for all of us to clear the telephonic interviews. So today I am going to conduct a mock interview with Payal and who is looking for a job in software testing position, and we would be covering the real-time interview questions of software testing in this video. Okay, so we have Payal with us. Hello Payal, how are you?
Hello, sir. I am doing good. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks for asking. So are you
All
comfortable,
right.
Payal? Shall we start then with the interview?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. So let us start then. So the first question is, what is installation testing?
Installation testing means testing the software if it is being installed properly on the system, by checking the manual steps if end user is able to perform the installation by themselves or not. That is called installation testing.
Okay, great. So in installation testing, if this question is asked, you also have to answer whenever you uninstall the product. Okay, let's say you install the product and you are checking the first behavior of how the product is getting installed. Then at the time of uninstallation also all the files that are pertaining to the product should get deleted, and it should completely get removed from the our computer or from the machine. Okay, and then
All
there
right,
are
sir.
also times when we get patches to install, right? Let's say if we have got some version 1.x which we have installed the software, and then we would be upgrading it from 1.x to 2.x, or we will be getting a patch of 1.2 which would be we would be installing on 1.x. So installation testing is also testing full, partial upgrade or uninstall process. Okay, so
Okay,
basically,
sir. I got it.
installation testing is done with an objective of demonstrating product readiness. Okay, so you have to add these points whenever, and so far this answer was good, but just try to add this partial and upgrade also, because generally, in these days, people won't get the entire setups. They'll get patches or some of the updates, as we are also getting updates in our phones or in our PCs. Okay, so like that.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
All
yeah.
right.
Okay, so next question is, what is security or penetration testing?
Security testing means checking out the security of the software. For example, I'm using an application and I'm logged into that application. For example, I take banking application, right?
Mm,
So I am putting the password. I am trying to log in. First of all, first thing is that password should be in star format. It should not be seen.
mhm,
And second thing, I would be checking once I log in into the application, and after I log out I will check if the same link, uh, no when I'm login I will copy that same link and then I will log out from the software, and I will check in the next step if it is opening or not. So I will check the security if it is secure or not.
mhm.
We'll check the encryption, and navigation to the links also, and what we can add in that.
Yeah, yeah. So this was good, and we can also add, like, whether the system is protected against unauthorized internal or external access. Let's say, as you were mentioning rightly, that you will be having, credentials. For example, username is Payal, password is your birth date.
Yes.
Then, if you
Right.
change the username or if you change the password, then also it should not allow you to log into the system. This is
Okay,
one
sir.
aspect. Another aspect is, let's say if we are having some security tools like Bubsuit is there or Fiddler is there, and the moment the request of a username or password is going to the server, and in between on the fly, if we modify the parameter of username or password, like if we do man in the middle attack, MMA, and then we have to see that we should not get internal server error or exceptions. It should give a graceful message. It should give a proper error message like login username is incorrect or something like that. So that is
Okay,
one
sir.
aspect of security testing. Other aspect is, let's say, as we were discussing about installing the softwares, Now, whenever we are installing something and we are putting password, and you were mentioning about star, so like this is encryption. So 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 there is a tool like show password tool. So what it would do,
Okay.
yeah. So using that tool, you can mouse over on the uh, text box or on the field where you have entered your password, and that password should not be displayed as a plain text. So generally, what is
Okay.
expected when you are testing security is the passwords should not be in plain text. There should be some kind of encryption like AES 256 encryption, or some kind of logic should be developed by the developer to make sure that the passwords are not displayed in the a plain text or raw format. So this is,
Okay.
you can explain in this further. I think this would be good then. These two things, about man in the middle attack, about show password tool. Okay. Then,
Okay, and one more thing I think we can add, we should restrict that page source code that should not be displayed on these applications like banking application for more security. If
yeah,
I'm correct.
yeah, perfect, perfect. So when you are
Okay.
trying to access banking applications, so again in that, you will be having some of the this source code is right thing. And another thing we can also add is, about the session token. Let's say if you are accessing some of the web application, and the normal session duration that a user can access a web application, for example, is 5 minutes. And on the five after 5 minutes of the very first second, it should log out the user if they are not active into that session. You might would have seen the pop-ups coming up on the banking website, like
Right.
right. So those you can add on to this. Okay. So moving to
Okay.
next question, what is recovery or what is error testing?
Recovery testing means we the system we have developed, we check if it will be able to recover into the same state. For example, I'm using the email application. I'm trying to send an email to someone,
Mm,
and suddenly some mishappening happen. For example, my system got shut down.
mm,
So when my system is, I turn on my system,
mm,
then I will check this message which I have already typed a big message. It should be gone into the draft tab, right? So from where we can access it as it is. So I think that is the recovery testing. I mean, system should retain its the prior state in which it was shut down.
mm,
That is called recovery state.
mm. Okay, so basically you mean to say testing how well a system recovers from crashes, hardware failures, or catastrophic problems, or errors that are coming out on time, runtime, like that. Okay, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now let's say if I give you a mobile application for testing, so
Okay.
what are all the test scenarios that you will have for that particular app? It's a generic app. It can be on an Android or it can be on an iOS as well, and it supports both.
Mm-hmm.
So can you tell me the high
Okay.
level scenarios for testing a mobile application?
Uh, Testing the mobile application. Okay.
Mm,
We can check the version on which it can, for example, Android, it should be working on KitKat 5 or Lollipop or other version. It should be running on there. And if it is iPhone, it should be running on different versions of iPhone.
mm,
And uh, it should be user friendly. Customers should be able to understand and operate it by themselves without taking someone's help. So it should be user friendly also. And uh, I would be checking how much uh, space it is taking while it is opening, how much time it is taking to respond when once it is opening. For example, WhatsApp,
mm,
right? It's a mobile application. I am When I'm opening it, how much time it will take to open it. and if I am able to send the message to someone or not, I am able to receive the message from someone or not.
mm,
And there is also a feature in WhatsApp of blue tick. If somebody is able to see, somebody is has seen that message, so it should be converted to in blue tick also.
mm.
So that kind of scenario we can add. We should be able to delete the messages from there, and we should be able to restore the messages. There should be the functionality of restoring, and what we can say.
Yeah.
Uh,
So over here, the question was about generic mobile app, and
okay,
you were answering more to the WhatsApp. So when generic mobile app question has been asked, so you can tell about how it will get installed or it would get uninstalled, and how it will
okay,
work
okay,
on a network, without a network. Let's say if we go to a particular area where network is not there, so how that mobile app is working, how that mobile app is functioning, right? And then
okay, sir.
we can add about network connections. Like, let's say if I connect to a particular Wi-Fi, or if I open my own internet connection, or open the data
Mm,
connection in my mobile, so how it is working at that time. You can cover about
okay,
usability of the features on a mobile screen, and
okay, sir.
multiple devices, as you are mentioning. Again, Android, iOS, both the platform you can take. Okay, so that was
Okay,
true. And if someone is asking you about particular WhatsApp app, then you can go for those things, like you were mentioning about restoring messages, blue tick, and that. Okay.
okay, okay, I got it. Yes.
Yeah, and while this is a mock interview, even if you are not able to understand, so feel free to ask, because ultimately the intention, the goal behind this interview is to help you with maximum of the knowledge in the software testing area. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Now, what is acceptance testing?
Acceptance testing is user acceptance testing is a type of testing, and we should test here if application is in acceptable form or not. Like um, it is of two type, that is alpha testing and of beta, and is of beta testing. In alpha testing, tester test if it is stable or not, and how the end user will be using it. If the how the end user will be using it, they will check uh, from the end user point of view, how the application is behaving. And if I talk about beta testing, and in beta testing, uh, beta testing environment will be like actually the production environment. Few people will be able to see, will be able to test the the software, how or application, how it is behaving. It gonna behave in production environment. So in user acceptance testing, we test the application with the end user point of view, that how it will be behaving when it goes live.
Yeah.
So that is called user acceptance testing.
Yeah, user acceptance testing. So see, first of all, you can tell about acceptance testing. So acceptance testing
Okay.
is, a kind of a black box testing first, which gives the
Okay.
client or a customer or a project manager the opportunity to verify the system functionality and usability. Okay, prior to the system being released to production. So that is an opportunity, that is a chance that is given to the clients to test the software before it gets into the production. Now there are two types. One is alpha testing and another is beta testing. Now, what is alpha testing? So alpha testing is, testing an application when the development is nearing completion. But again, it is particularly performed by a group that is within the company. That is, it can be a QA team, it can be in-house software test engineers, and it is within the company limit, within the company premises. But beta testing is performed by end users. Okay, it is not performed by programmers or software engineers or test engineers who were a part of the development or engineering team. Okay, so beta testing is performed by the end users, And it is testing an application when development and testing are essentially completed and final bugs and problems need to be found out before the final release. So at that time, generally beta testing is done. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So what is desk checking?
I didn't get, sir. I'm sorry.
Yeah, what is desk checking? Desk checking means like desk whenever let me give you a hint. So it is conducted by the developer. Desk checking.
Desk checking. Actually, I have never heard about this word, but let me guess if I can.
Yeah, if you want.
Uh,
Okay.
Desk checking means the environment. I think he checks for development.
Yeah, so you are quite close about on it. Desk checking is
And
generally conducted by the developer, and it involves, when a developer is reviewing the complete product to ensure that it has met, it has written all the unit test cases, it has met all the requirements, and the coding guidelines has been followed, and the standards has been met about it. So that is desk
okay,
checking.
sir.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now let's come to the boundary value analysis and equivalence partitioning. So let me give you an example of a field that accepts
Mhm.
1 to 10 characters. Let's say numeric
Mhm.
characters 1 to 10. Okay. Now
Mhm.
I want you to develop the test cases based on boundary value analysis. What would be your input data? And based on, sorry, equivalence partitioning, what would be your input data?
In 1 to 10, we have to test, no, sir?
Yes, 1 to 10
So,
characters.
in boundary value analysis,
Hmm.
I would be checking the lower bound and upper bound also. Like if we have to test from 0 to 10, right?
Hmm.
So I would be checking it for -1,
Yeah.
0,
Hmm.
and +1,
Hmm.
and for upper bound, I would be checking it for 11,
Hmm.
and I would be checking it for 9 as well, and 10.
Wonderful. Yeah. And for equivalence partitioning,
Uh, Equivalence partitioning, I think if in equivalence partitioning, I would be checking on 0, 10. Actually, I don't have idea. I,
okay.
I don't remember actually.
Yeah, no problem. So let me help you with that. So equivalence partitioning, in which we are having a data range of, for example, in this question was 1 to 10. Okay. So what we would
Right.
do is, yeah, please, yeah, you are telling something.
No, I was listening to you only.
Oh, okay. So, so we have a range of 1 to 10. Okay. So what we would do is we would take the any one of the number between the valid data range and one number
Okay.
outside the data range. So we have 1 to 10. So we can take 2, 5, and outside the data range we can take 14. Okay. So in this
Okay,
manner,
sir.
we will cover both the inputs, both the classes of the inputs. That is 1 to 10, that is valid, and invalid is above 10. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. Yeah. So what is metric?
What is
Or
matrix?
yeah, metrics or
You
metric.
are you are talking about traceability matrix,
No. Metric. METRIC. Software metrics.
software matrix.
Hmm.
So I think I have never
Okay.
heard about it.
Okay. No problem. So a software metrics, is a kind of a measurement that we are doing with respect to
Mm.
what content of the code that we have written and how many number of bugs per lines of code we have found. Let's say if we have 20,000 lines of code in a particular software,
Okay.
and how
Okay,
many
sir.
number of bugs that we have found out per line of the code. So that is a standard of measurement, basically metrics. And software metrics are generally statistics describing the structure or a content of a program. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. So what is monkey testing?
Monkey testing is randomly testing the software or an application,
Hmm.
and purpose is to break the software application. So
Hmm.
we would be picking any module, or we would be checking it with the negative testing with any kind of data we would be providing. We will check how stable, I mean, the product is, or a software or application is. So that is called monkey testing. We will perform unwanted actions wantedly.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. Okay. Sounds good. And what is negative testing?
Negative testing is when we are giving the inputs, like for example, I am trying to log into an application, so I am using correct username and correct password. But in negative testing, I will follow all the scenario. uh, Incorrect username, correct password, invalid username, invalid password, valid username, invalid password. This kind of scenario will be covered in negative testing. So we would be checking if we are giving the wrong inputs, we are able to log in or not. We are able to get the proper messages or not. So
Hmm.
that is called negative testing.
Okay, great. Yeah. Okay. So, what do you mean by daily stand-up meetings in Agile?
Daily stand-up meetings are performed by the Scrum team, and we discuss there what task has been completed, what task needs to be performed today, and how it will be performed.
Mm-hmm.
So that is the purpose. We cover what part of the how much part is covered in our project. So we discuss all there
Yeah,
in daily stand-up meeting.
yeah, right. And if anyone is having any impediments, like if they are stuck or if they are blocked on someone, then they need to highlight
Yeah.
in the daily stand-up meetings. Okay. And
Oh, okay,
generally,
sir.
the time box of these kind of meetings is generally maximum to 15 minutes, and it is 10 to
Yeah.
15 minutes generally.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Now, which are the various burn down charts in the agile model?
Various burn down charts.
Hmm.
Burn down charts. Actually, sir, I don't recall right now. But I
Okay.
think burn down charts will cover how much project has been completed. It will show you everybody on the same page or not. How much task has been completed or not. I think so. That's what I can recall.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm
Correct.
not wrong.
Yeah, correct. You are close. And let me explain you. So there are four popularly used burn down charts in Agile. Okay. So one is product
Okay.
burn down chart. So this product burn down chart shows how many product backlog items or user stories are implemented or not implemented so far. Then there is sprint burn down chart in which we will see how many sprints are implemented or not implemented by the whole Scrum team. Then there is release burn down chart. So in this we will we, so this in this we will show how many list of releases is still pending by the team, which Scrum team has already planned. And at the last there is defect burn down chart, in which we will show how many defects are identified and fixed. Okay. So these are the,
Okay, sir.
yeah, four things that are being covered in the burn down charts. Okay. Now,
Okay, sir.
when do we use Agile Scrum methodology?
Uh, Agile Scrum, when we have a large project and we have these changes in requirements are not clear, there will be a change and it's a big project. So
Hmm.
then we should use Agile Scrum methodology
Yeah, right.
for
Definitely,
big
when the
projects.
requirements are not clear. then we should go for the agile. And when the customer is or the client is looking forward for a speedy release, at that time we can go for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So which are the components that you will have in the test cases?
Uh, Test cases.
Yeah.
There will be the project name,
Hmm.
test case ID,
Hmm.
test case scenario, test case description, steps number, whatever the steps you are going to follow to test that product,
Hmm.
and input data, that is test data, and expected results and actual results will be there.
Hmm. 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 And prerequisites would also be there, right? Like if we want some actions to be already performed before we execute this test case, then those also should be a part of it. Prerequisites, preconditions, you
Oh,
might say.
okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Yeah. And did you mention test data?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
That is, I said input data.
yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, that is one and the same thing basically.
Yeah.
Then what are the best practices for writing test cases?
Best practices for writing test cases. We have to understand the requirement first of all.
Hmm.
You should have clear in your mind what is the requirement, what your customer needs.
Hmm.
So once your requirements will be clear, then you would be, creating the scenarios, and after scenario reviewed, then you have to write the test cases. It should be including the positive testing as well as negative testing
Hmm.
test cases also. And input data should be there, through which we have to test the data, to test the application.
Hmm.
Expected result should be there, and actual result should be there.
Right. Hmm. And we have to make the
I,
test cases in such a way that they are reusable. Let's say if you have written for some particular module XYZ and tomorrow some other module comes, so these test cases should be reusable over there partially, not end to end, but at least partially they should be reusable, right?
yes, yes, I got it.
Yeah. Okay.
For
Yes.
the like for example, I'm using those test cases in one project, and the another project is coming, and we can use some of the test cases in that project, like that you are saying, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, same thing.
Oh,
We
okay, okay.
so that would minimize the work of the tester.
Effort, yeah, effort.
Mhm. Okay. Now, can you tell us some of the popular configuration management tools?
Configuration management. You
Hmm.
mean test management tools, huh?
No, I mean configuration management. So configuration management, which is a actually it is a process in which we are maintaining the system resources, computer system, server, softwares, to and to measure the product's performance and to make sure that it is there in the consistent state. So there are some popular tools that are being used in the organizations. Can you name one or two of them?
Uh, I think Jenkins will
No,
be there,
no. Actually,
and
Jenkins is a
I think I'm not getting
DevOps tool.
them.
Yeah, no problem.
Test run, yeah.
Yeah. So some of the popular configuration management tools are Ansible, or you can take Puppet, Terraform, SaltStack is there. So these are all the few
Oh,
of the
okay.
popular configuration management tools. Okay. Now, what is the major
Okay, sir.
difference between driver.close and driver.quit?
Driver.close will close only the current window, and driver.quit function will close all the windows open on your browser.
Mm-hmm. Right. Okay. Now, how will you scroll down a page which is using JavaScript? and you have to scroll down a page to a particular page size. So how will you perform that? What can you tell me the method that you will use to scroll down the web page
Scroll down.
in Selenium?
Yeah, I know, but I don't remember actually.
Mhm. Okay, so let me help you. Scroll by
Okay.
is one of the method which is generally used to scroll down the web page. Now, again, there are, you can also use a JavaScript object with that. And once you will create a
Okay.
JavaScript object, then you can use like js.execute script, window.scroll by, and you
Mhm.
can mention x pixels and y pixels, like to what extent you want to scroll. Okay, so
Oh, okay, okay, sir.
yeah, yeah. Now, how will you
And some
assert?
of the
Yeah, yeah, please go ahead.
uh,
Yeah.
actually, I am learning Selenium these days, so I haven't performed this yet.
Okay, okay, no problem. So it's good
Yeah.
that you are learning Selenium. Keep learning and keep upgrading yourself. Okay,
Okay, but you can ask me question. Let's see how many question I can answer.
okay. So so let me ask you in this way. Let's say if I tell you, how will
Hmm.
you measure yourself for the skill set of Selenium from 1 to 10, 10
Hmm.
being the highest and 1 being the lowest. So how
Hmm.
much will you give yourself?
I will give five.
5. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. So I got the label now. Okay, so let me ask
Hmm.
you some questions around it then. Okay. So
Okay.
how will you assert the title of a web page?
Uh, Assert the title of a web page.
Hmm.
We would be using assertions for that,
Yeah,
and assert dot I think equals method will be used.
right, right. So there are two ways to
Yeah,
do it. One is you can use driver.get title. Okay.
right.
Another is you can use assert equals, and you will have two parameters in that. One is of actual title, one is of expected title. So you can
Yes, sir. Yes.
match them, and you can do like you can keep an if condition of actual title dot equals ignore case with the expected title. So then you will match. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now, which class is used to mouse over a particular web element?
That is the action class.
Action class. Perfect.
We would be making the object action A or action act is equal to new action, and we would be putting the driver in that. We
Hmm.
would be finding the element, and we would be performing next action, whatever we want to perform, right?
Hmm, hmm, hmm. Okay. So in a Selenium, can CAPTCHA be automated?
No, captcha cannot be automated.
Hmm. Okay. So how will you handle the Windows-based pop-ups in Selenium?
There is a tool which is called AutoID Tool.
Hmm.
We can use the this tool to handle window-based pop-ups
Hmm.
in Selenium.
Right.
So once you write the command, you have to convert that AutoIT file into exe, and in Selenium code you can copy the location in driver dot find elements. I think, yeah, in
Hmm.
that we have to copy the location, and then we will be good to go according to the code. We will be good to go to handle those pop-ups.
Yeah, right. So there are third-party tools available which you can integrate with your Selenium framework. Those are AutoIT, Robot is there,
Yeah.
even Venium is there.
Okay.
So Venium is also a good
Okay.
tool that you can use, and for Venium you just have to uh, copy the libraries into your environment, and you have to call them.
Mhm.
While in AutoIT you have to download the software, right? So it can be
Okay.
done. The pop-ups, Windows-based pop-ups can be handled in that way. Now, how
Okay.
will you take screenshots in a web driver?
Uh, that I haven't tried yet.
Okay,
I'm
no
sorry.
problem. So there is an interface that is take screenshot that can be used
Okay.
to take screenshots in a web driver. There is also a method that get screenshot as. So and
Okay.
then we have to mention the uh, output file path where we want the screenshot to get stored. Then it
Okay.
would go and save the screenshot over there. So one is interface and one is method.
Okay.
Now, is there any way to type in a text box without using send keys?
Without using send keys.
Yeah. So we have, let's say if you have given a field name field in which you have to type your name. Now there is
Mhm.
one method that we all know that we can go for send keys. But is there any
Yeah.
other way to type into a text box apart from using send keys? If I don't want to use that, then how can I access?
Maybe set data function would be there, I think.
No, no.
I am just
Yeah,
guessing.
yeah. Please, please. So actually, set text is no, no, it won't be there. Yeah, can you try something else?
Set data. No, set data will be used to write in Excel sheets, right?
Hmm.
But in text field, no, sir, I don't
Okay,
know.
no
I'm
problem.
sorry.
So the text can be entered into a text box using JavaScript executor. So you know what we would do is we
Okay,
would create an object of the JavaScript executor, and
okay,
using that object, then again we will get get the text written like document dot get element by ID of your text box and what value we have to enter, so that we will put in the double inverted comma.
okay, okay.
Yeah, okay. And yeah, I think most of the questions are being covered. So the
Mm,
last question that we can have before we wind up for this interview is, if I left you for testing and if I give you
mhm,
the application to test for 2 hours, so what would
mhm.
you have to show me when I return?
If you give me, okay,
Yeah, so this is scenario based question. Let's say now it is,
whatever.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So let's
Yeah,
say, yeah,
you go
let me
ahead.
explain you the question in detail. Let's say now it is 1:15, and if I
Okay.
give you an application for testing for 2 hours or 3 hours, and if I come back
Mm-hmm.
at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, then what
Mm-hmm.
will you show it to the test manager or your hiring manager?
I would be showing the testing report. I will be creating how many defects I have find and what are the functionality I have tested.
Mhm.
I would be covering that.
Apart from that,
Apart from that, working.
okay. So let me help you. So
Okay.
basically, when this kind of question is asked in an interview, so interviewer wants to know
Mm-hmm.
what all the data that you will give it to them after 2 hours, because in companies, in MNCs, in organizations, the data plays a very
Yeah.
vital role. So when they come after 2 hours, you
Okay.
should be ready with the test strategy that you had adopted. You should be ready with the
Okay.
testing techniques that you have used, the testing tools that you can show it to
Okay.
them, and how many test case
Okay.
got executed and how many are pending. So basically the test case coverage. If you are expected to do manual
Okay.
testing. Now, if you are expected to do
Okay.
automation testing, so you should be having, the same test automated report. It can be the test
Okay.
LG, the normal file, because 2 hours is the less time. Then
Okay.
how many, yeah, the report should show how many test cases have passed, failed. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
then you should also tell them that why you automated these particular test cases, on what basis did you prioritize them for automation. Okay, so that decision making
Okay.
thing, the decision making, why you went for those set of test cases to automate them, so that you have to explain. And basically
Okay.
this will help them to know how much good analyzing, how much, a good analyzer you are, how much you are able
Okay.
to deal with the situation when the
Okay.
team members are not there. Are you self independent? Are you self
Mm-hmm.
motivated team player, like that? So these are the things that are behind the question they'll come to know. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Okay. I got
Yeah.
it, sir.
Yeah, so far so good, Payal. We are done with the interview round. Anything you would like to ask?
I would like to ask you when you would be taking my interview again based on Java-based skills, Selenium skills,
Hmm.
and again manual testing the complete interview.
Hmm.
I want to give.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
So let me check with the team if we can
Okay.
prepare a separate questionnaire, because today whatever questions we covered, so that questions we
Oh,
won't cover again in the next interview. It would be the
yeah.
separate questions, and it can be done tomorrow or Sunday whenever you have time, because it's a holiday,
Uh,
so we can utilize this time. Okay, so let me
Actually,
know.
I need to practice on Selenium
Okay.
sometime, so that's why
Okay, so we can,
within a week.
yeah, we
Uh,
can keep next Saturday or Sunday. Just remind me via
okay.
LinkedIn, okay, that
Okay, sir.
we had discussed about this. So I'll be in the touch. So you are sure, like you want to give the interview, so we will start preparing the questionnaire on Selenium. Okay,
Selenium. Yeah. Okay. Okay, sir.
okay.
Because
So
I have. Yeah. You go ahead, please.
yeah. So I was just asking. So you want the same format, like first manual testing, and then few of the management type questions, then Selenium, then Agile, and at the end this few of the scenario based things, right? Or you want only
Yeah,
Selenium?
including no, no, all should be covered in that because
Sure,
I
sure,
want to check my level when if I'm covering Java also or not.
sure, sure.
Because if
Definitely.
I will go for the real time interview, they would be asking question from Java as well, right?
Java as well.
So
Even if you will see the interview questions of Mindtree that I have uploaded on my channel, or the Capgemini,
okay,
so they are asking the
okay,
SQL interview questions also. So you should be knowing good knowledge. You should be having a good knowledge on SQL joins, and you might
okay,
be expected to write some SQL queries also on the fly. So it depends on the interviewer and for what project they are hiring you. But SQL, Agile, Java, these are the key skills that they need for a software testing position.
okay.